What's a common social etiquette rule you just don't agree with? I have never understood why people are afraid to tell someone else they have food in their teeth or something on their face. I'm going to be more embarrassed if I get home and see the lipstick on my teeth. And I'm going to be annoyed with you for not mentioning it. The rule I've heard for this is that if it's something they can do something about in like 15 seconds, tell them, otherwise ignore it. So like, tell someone that they have food in their teeth or their flies down because those are usually easy to fix. But don't tell someone they missed a spot straightening their hair or that there's a stain on their sleeve that didn't just happen because they can't really do anything about it in that moment. Once someone told me very firmly at a wedding that I'll have to go home right now and wash my entire hair because I got a bit of cake icing on the front strands. Their face and tone was as if something terrible had happened and I wouldn't be able to face anyone. So a journey home, shampooing off the hairstyle I spent ages on, also washing off the makeup I spent ages on with expensive products, redoing both entirely, which would still take an hour even if I do a rushed and less nice version, getting dressed again, making the journey back to the venue, probably the wedding would be over and the venue closed by then and I'd have missed all the things that happened. I just went to the loo and wiped off the strands in 2 seconds and I survived. Clearly you didn't understand the cataclysmic gravity of the situation. Turning down something when you actually want it because it's polite. This happened to me a lot when I was a kid, but every once in a while as an adult this weird social thing will happen. Person, would you like something to drink? Me, yes, please. Thank you. Person, shocked Pikachu face, oh, I was just being polite. Me, who were you, Vicky? Because that seems rude to me. Like offering to help clean up after dinner at a friend's house, the host is supposed to politely turn the offered help down. Hell no, I hate doing dishes, y'all are helping, lol. I messed a tick when a host wants my help. I feel accepted. I have been accepted into the group. I shall send no further correspondence until there has been an update of value. I have an explicit agreement with my friends, we take each other at face value. I'm far too stupid to understand nuance. When you offer someone something, and they say no, even though they want it, and you need to keep offering it to them until it's socially acceptable for them to take it. Move to the Netherlands, we offer it once, then the cookies disappear in the cabinet, never to be seen again. Yeah, not a thing where I am in the US either. Maybe are you sure, it's no trouble, and then done. But that would be for a big offer like watching their kids while they do a project, not for cookies. I despise that it's more socially acceptable to be an asshole than it is to call someone out for being an asshole. It's like when someone's being publicly rude, people would rather just ignore it and look the other way than say, hey buddy, you're being a dick to everyone around you, knock it the hell off. Then suddenly you're the asshole and they did no wrong. Sending thank you notes to people who attended your loved one's funeral. You already have enough on your plate, plus you're grieving. It doesn't make any sense to me. This is a thing. I am a big thank you note person and have never heard this. I agree that makes zero sense. Not putting the salary on the job advert. Worse is when they post a range, have the interview, and then act shocked when you say you want that salary range. My last job acted like I was demanding something completely unreasonable when I picked a figure in the middle of their advertised range. When I pointed out that they had listed the job at that pay scale, they sputtered and tried to ask me to be reasonable. I just sat there in stunned silence until they reconsidered. It was a great negotiating tactic I didn't even mean to use. I just couldn't process why they post a job and a pay scale and then pretend to be shocked I was asking for something in that range. When the hiring manager came in and said, so I hear you think we're hiring at bottom of the pay range. I just responded that the job was advertised at top of the range, so of course I understood that was in the ballpark of what you were offering. Is the company no longer able to make that payroll commitment? It's just a stupid song and dance to avoid treating employees fairly. I hate the idea that you can't talk about your salary with co-workers. There is zero reason behind this besides the business not wanting people to know what others are making so they can keep pay lower for some. If you live in America, there is a federal law that allows this type of discourse. Employers try to hint it's illegal in the US, but it's not. People, usually men, mistaking the notion of a firm handshake to mean squeezing the fuck out of your hand. I once read a choose-your-own-adventure book where I made a wrong choice and the Space Emperor had such a strong handshake that he ripped my whole arm off and I bled to death in front of his evil throne. I won't let that happen to me again, so you'll just have to deal with it, pal. Respect your elders. Sorry, a lot of my elders are unrespectable. IMO, respect everyone unless they show they don't deserve it. Not taking the last piece of food on a sharing platter. The number of times I've seen a perfectly good piece of garlic bread go cold and get thrown away. People getting pissy if you don't open their gift right in front of them at the party. People bringing gifts even if the invite specifically said no gifts. Obligatory gift giving in general. Asking how are you? And expecting a standard lie in response. Being fashionably late. The party is at 7, why is everyone showing up at 8 to 9? I find it so rude. Don't speak ill of the dead. Of course, nobody who repeats this rule actually means it sincerely. Everyone speaks ill of Hitler, for example. So when you speak ill of, for example, Rush Limbaugh and they say don't speak ill of the dead, what they're really saying is I don't think he was that bad. It's a very dishonest rule. Putting cutlery at the beginning of buffet tables. I do not know which utensils I need until I am done selecting all of my food and they are awkward to carry while filling my plate with said food. It belongs at the end and I die on this hill. I'm a big fan of the Irish goodbye. Waiting for people to take photos before walking through. It was polite in the 80s when people took 1 photo per day, but these days you'd never get anywhere in a tourist city if you waited. It's not reasonable to hold up a pavement while you take 17 photos for your Instagram. I'm going through. Elbows off the dinner table. You can be blunt and be honest without being rude, sometimes it's the best thing to do. Men always ask women out, if a woman does it makes her look desperate, do away with this social etiquette and let whoever has feelings for whomever make the first move regardless of gender. Saying goodbye to everyone when I'm ready to leave. Nope. I'm simply gonna fuck off in silence.